Welcome back. I decided to do the 48-475 because the 48-482 chassis is 3 or 4 inches wider than the chassis in the 48-475, which means it won't fit into the small jig. So when I put the large jig here for reference, it comes up to about this area, so it's going to be interesting trying to manipulate that or figure that out. My chassis are all going to end up being completely vertical when I'm working on them, unless I do a lot of standing. Anyway, so I figured we'd start with this. As far as I can tell from measuring, it's going to fit in the small jig, but barely. Another item is I'm trying to figure out the best place to locate my camera. Right now, I have it sitting on a chair right next to me because it doesn't quite go tall enough. And I swear, unless I grabbed the wrong one, I had two for a time, but I didn't like the other one. This has got to be my old one. I thought it went a lot higher than it is, so it's kind of sad I had to stick it on a chair. Anyhow, maybe I'll figure something out to put it straight up and down. I think Bob Anderson does it that way. Or he just has a better tripod than I have. So, anyway, let's go ahead. I have not opened this up, so this could be a big surprise for all of us. I could open this up and it could be completely empty underneath. Or maybe there's a dead mouse. I don't know. So, anyway, as I said, I decided I was going to do this one. Let's see if I can... Oh, well, now I can't reach the tilt. Yay. Alright, well, I'll tilt it like that. So I decided to do this one here. So in order to get it, I'm going to have to take this aerial out, and the screws come out there. Yeah, so I guess... Oh, I see mouse turds. Yum. Okay, well, shield out. The other reason was that I already took this out and tested the tubes. And although it had one super weak tube, I actually had a replacement for it. And I'll tell you, it's really nice when you go into your junk TV tube box, or what you thought was a junk TV tube box, and find a new old stock 7-pin tube, exactly the one you need. And I don't have to make an order, because I hate it when I have to order a $3 tube and spend $6 for shipping or figure out what other tubes I need. And I just didn't feel like, between those 3 television sets and the 482 and this one, I just did not feel like testing 80 tubes. Anyhow, I guess that's just lazy, but at any rate, let me start pulling this apart, and I will be back. Okay, well, I'm starting to take this apart, and I just wanted to actually get a video reference. I put some marks in on the chassis where the FM antenna goes to, and the white and black wires for the loop here, which, interestingly, has these little metal things keep falling out. I mean, wooden. They're like little wooden dowels. And I thought for a second this stuff here was metal. It's not. It's some kind of... Oh, I don't want to use the word phenolic. Maybe it's phenolic, but it's kind of a fibery stuff, much like the wafers. Anyway, I guess that's sort of interesting anyway. So, oh, well, here, more goop. I'm sure you all enjoyed hearing that. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and unplug this. There. Boy, you know, the more modern ones, this was a lot. Couple it closer to the edge there. So this is interesting. I don't know. It does have chassis washers. Wow. That washer isn't completely petrified. Okay, so it's got 1, 2, 3, 4 bolts holding it in. It's a floating chassis. Oh, more turds. I'm gonna have a lot of fun in there. Yuck. Okay. So, I don't know how to take this out. I don't know if you guys can see in there. There's a board up in front. Oh, it looks like it is attached to the chassis. I was going through the service info last night. I have both the photo fact for this letter and actually the Philco service for this. And, well, the Philco service is 1, 2, 3, 4, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 pages for this radio, which is kind of scaring me. But there's a lot of troubleshooting in here. Lots of pictures. I'll tell you, working on a post-war set's kind of nice here because of this. I guess because Sam's came out, I'm not sure, because the Philco kind of looks a lot like the Sam's. There's actually pictures of the chassis and a lot of the same types of things that like Sam's does with the, oh, what do they call it? They have their name for it. Maybe they didn't have it this soon, but yeah. Well, just the way that they do the schematic, I'll find it somewhere. It's gonna bug me. Anyway, so interestingly with the Sam's, when I was reading it, they give you 2 ways to align it. If you do not have an oscilloscope, they tell you how to align the FM if you do not have an oscilloscope, and if you do have an oscilloscope, they have a separate set of instructions. So I thought that was kind of nice, although I now have an oscilloscope. Oh, the other reason, well, the other good thing about that is because I still don't have a sweep generator, so that was the other thing in the alignment, was if you have a FM alignment using a sweep generator and oscilloscope, or not. So that'll be nice. Anyway, so let me take these screws out. I took the knobs off. They're definitely going to have to go through the ultrasonic cleaner. When I was cleaning this, I can tell you it came from a smoking household because, well, because you know that's distinctive sticky stuff all over everything, plus the way it, the color it is. So I'm going to, probably shouldn't be doing this direction. But these are pretty big, assuming you can see what I'm doing. Talk about big old chassis bolts for a small radio. I also see I'm going to have to put new feet on it. The way they put this cabinet together too, I was noticing, it almost reminds me more of a Canadian set because it's put together all with screws, and the cabinet is pretty thick. It's I think it says it's mahogany. I don't That's the photo effect. Oh, of course it gets stuck. Wood, mahogany, yep, so. And it doesn't, well, I don't know. Anyway, I guess we'll find out later. Do this. Alright, well this antenna is going to get messed up if I don't get it out of the way. Uh-oh. Oh, I remember the other thing I was going to tell you guys was that there's 2 screws in the front. This has a permanent magnet speaker, and I didn't see that in the 482. The 482 is, I believe, is an electrodynamic. Boy, I'm gonna go broke having to get. Oh man, this thing is full of rubber grommets, and it's gonna cost me a fortune in rubber parts for this. Well, they actually don't feel dried out. Although I think I just ripped this one. Okay. Oh, something gave. Oh, here it comes. It's stuck on one of the push buttons there. Of course, I don't know. I don't see where that speaker attaches. You guys can't see anything I'm doing. Oh! Oh. I thought the power plug. I don't know. Okay. How long has this thing been going on? Oh. I gotta figure out my display again because it seems to be cumulative of all the time of videos I've ever done, because now it's up to 2 hours and 7 minutes. I don't remember what it was at last night when I first pointed that out. Well, I see a disconnected wire. That's always a good thing. Somewhere going to the speaker. God, I hope I didn't just ruin something. Well, let's see what's. Okay, well, I'm assuming I have to. Oh, that was smart. Okay, I think that speaker needs to. That speaker needs to come out on its own. Alright. Let me see if I can figure this out. I'll be right back. Well, alrighty then. The chassis, the other wire popped off as well. So I guess that's going to be fun. They did go to the top of the speaker. I guess I shouldn't complain. It's out now, but green and black. I wonder if that's going to be in there. Anyway, so it is a permanent magnet speaker because these are the only 2 wires that go to the speaker. And anyway, the wires broke off, so connectors still seem to be there. The speaker seems okay. So the front of this is going to look pretty familiar. If anybody looked at my my 315. Of course, I have to laugh because Philco changed the bulbs they use, and the 475 here is using, I think these are 51 bulbs. And I think these are the 51s. I saw it in here. And the 482 uses the same type, but it's round, of course. I mean, not round, screw base. So I have to buy 2 sets of bulbs because I don't have either of them. And it was in the, yep, type 51, 7.5 volt, 0.2 amps. I suppose the transformer is a 6.5 volt. I suppose that this was trying to give people longer bulb life, I guess. Anyway, so as I was saying, you might recognize this from the background, the same kind of flocking and everything. So, interestingly, this is using, I hesitate to use the word rubber because the wire is still quite pliable, but it's awfully nice not to have crumbly wiring. You know, I realize I better double check everything before I say that. Alright, so I have not turned this chassis over yet. So, let's see. What do we have in store for us? Ladies and gentlemen, we have a, do my eyes deceive me? I believe we have ourselves a virgin chassis. I do not see one non-Philco branded cap in here. Words, no words. I don't know about you, but I get, oh, I already see a toasted resistor. I don't know about you, but I just get so tickled when I come across a chassis that has never been worked on. Alright, let me figure out how to get this into the chassis jig so you can see it too. And then we'll look and you can see a clean chassis. Alright, I'll be right back. Real quick before I do it, the other big clue I had that this was no smoker's house is that nice cigarette burn. Alright, anyway, I will be right back. Alright, well, that was interesting. I'm going to put Philco back on my shit list. Oh, sorry, this is family viewing on my naughty list. There you go, it's Christmas. So, once again, Philco is annoying me. Just by the way, the placement of their mounts. So I had to play with this. I ended up mounting these brackets here on the back side because if I had put them on the top, the dial would run into the supports. So as it is, well, now I have to go all the way back around. Crap. These two little flaps here run into these, but at any rate, it's mounted. Alright, let me flip this back down. Careful. Alright. Okay, so let's get this back up where you can see it. Oh, poop. Talk about a close shave. we go. Okay, I'm going to have to do something about this cord, I think. But anyway, I think you can see what's going on here. Let's see. Alright, so I did take a look here. I do not see, I thought this one might be a replacement here, but nope. It says Philco. And interestingly, they have one of those, shoot, I forgot what these were called. The 4125 had one of these. And, oh well, I'm just forgetting. Anyhow, so I don't see any critter chewing in here so far, but I have I spent so much time figuring out how to mount this on there without getting everything in the way, and I think for the most part I'm okay. This of course is kind of in the way, but maybe I could still, no, this one's as far as it'll go. Anyway, so I ended up mounting, using one of the screws from the larger chassis jig to mount it to this rail, because if I had moved this over enough it would just block too much stuff. Anyhow, we have a toasted resistor here which is connecting up to one of the sections of the filter cap, so we obviously now know that there's a short there, or it's no good. Burned right through, I think that is a resistor. What's left of one anyway. Yep, nice and crispy. And all the wax is melted, and it covered up this resistor as well. So we've definitely got issues there. It's got a couple of these little Litz wire type coils, which I don't want to get near because I'll break them. And the spider web, I just said I didn't want to break them. I'm sitting here with this screwdriver poking in at this stuff. So, no crunchy wires, although that kind of scares me there. Oh, it's tar. I wonder where that came from. I mean, I know that the transformer's right here, but I don't see where it leaked tar through. But anyway, so yeah, we got some melted bubbly caps, and nope, that's this Philco as well. So yeah, we have an untouched chassis. I'm kind of thrilled about that. So unless somebody at Philco did something wrong, I'm assuming it's wired up correctly, so I don't have to worry about that or any crazy things that people have done. Well, it confused me, and I end up writing a question that's stupid after I reread it. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up for right now, because it is, well, it's only 7 after 7, but I haven't eaten dinner yet. So, well, there is an Aerovox cap right here, but I don't know. I don't think that's necessarily a replacement. And this domino here makes me wonder if that's one of those sneaky paper caps that are buried in the Duma thingy. What is that name on there? Type DP something or other 10.000. I guess I can twist it a little bit. Another brand. Well, it says MMF on it, so that's going to make me think that it's mica. And a ancient spider. So, alright. Well, let me wrap this up for now and look for part 2 here pretty soon. Hopefully we can get this running quickly. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.